Hey copper nerds, let's do a deep dive into the 1794 Sheldon 32 large cent. Let's get into it. Well, it's been a minute since our last deep dive. The last one we did was the Sheldon 28. I don't have a 29, 30, or 31 at present. I have one of those, but it's really low grade. They're not rare varieties, but I really enjoy them, and I'm waiting to get a nice, very good-looking, very diagnostic example of each. The 29, I really like both the obverse depiction and the reverse long right ribbon tail, which you'll see eventually. 30 and 31 are double lower lock varieties, so I want to get some nice diagnostic examples of those. And then the Sheldon 32, another one of my favorites, and this one I am also waiting to get one in high grade. This one is not that great, particularly on the obverse, but on the reverse, very late die state. I believe the last die state on that very advanced crack through S. So let's take a closer look at some of those features. Sheldon 32. So rarity 2. Die may be found perfect, but usually there is a rim break above LI, which is actually a very small cud. And this one does have that. It is just worn off from circulation, unfortunately. I used to have a nicer example, but that's in Dale's collection now. So I'm just getting by with this one for the time being. The reverse, rarely found perfect, usually has that die crack through S in states. It is comparable to S26, but S26 always has an accompanying crack through E in states before the crack goes through the S. Let's see, numerator is shifted too far right, barely, but a little bit, yep. That helps differentiate from the reverse on the 26. And leaf position below T in cent is higher than the 26. But again, on the 26, you're always going to have the first crack through E before this one shows up. So really, either one of those that has the cracks, you can determine which is which from the cracks. 32 has some fantastic clash marks that happen, which is why I enjoy the variety so much, in addition to the break. We'll get into that a little bit later. This is the powers guide that we always start with. This is my old guide, but we have the brand new version. So let's take a look at it as well and see what updates there might be for Sheldon 32. All right, looks like we have some zoom there showing some of the hair terminations. Talks about those in the description along with reference to that zoomed in inset photo. And then talks a little bit about the berry diagnostics. So the descriptions have changed substantially from the old powers guide to the new powers guide. Yeah, they're entirely different descriptions. So that's interesting. Same photo, but different descriptions. Next up, let's get into Breen's Encyclopedia. Sheldon 32. I really enjoy these deep dive videos, and I'm working on doing one for each of the 1794 varieties as I acquire them. And I'm not making these so much for, my daily viewership. These are sort of intended to be archival videos that really do that deep dive into each variety to assist you with diagnostics if you have one, but also just to learn more about the varieties themselves, the die states, etc. So the name for this one, upturned 4th and 6th locks. Upturned, yep. And I think that's what we were seeing in the updated powers guide as well. And the exposed inner portion of the cap right there shows some odd wrinkling not found on other dies. I was not aware of that, and this is one of my favorite varieties, so that's new to me. Let's take a look at a zoom of that. We've got some discussion of die states. Condition census, looks like we've got a handful uncirculated, but not as many as I would have expected. And Breen takes it down through very fine 35 in the census. Let's jump into the noise book next. We really always do these in the same sequence, but jumping into noise next. We're going to be looking at that one soon. That's my coin. Sheldon 32. Okay. Off-center to the right is one name for it, or upturned locks, which I guess is what we're seeing most commonly, is that this is the upturned locks variety. Oh, we have a note about the short fraction bar there. We have a note about the berry under the right edge of the upright of R, right there. Wide date close to the milling. And the crack through S, usually, which we're going to take a lot closer look at when we get into Chuck Heck's book here shortly. Discussion of die states, we'll get to that more later. We'll take a quick look at these here. There is perfect reverse die, no cud above L. And you start seeing the crack through the S there, where we still don't have the cud above L. Cud appears here, above L right there. As that crack advances, and we're starting to see some clash marks. And then we will see a lot more clash marks as things progress. And the condition census. All right, starting off with a couple of MS60s and an AU55, all noted as being choice by noise, so they must be really nice because he's a tough grader. Down into XF45 by the bottom of the first page, down to very fine 25 by the bottom of the second page. So this is a tougher variety to find in a high grade compared to other Rarity 2 coins. Yeah, I'm surprised at how few high grade examples there are here. I was kind of expecting them all to be XF or better. I was surprised to see that big drop off on this page from XF to VF25. And that should be the last page. And it is. All right, Chuck Heck's book, where we're talking specifically about die states. I love this book. You can't get them at the moment. They are completely sold out. Sheldon 32 is going to be on page 80. Bookmarked, I like it that much. Okay. Mars called this one the Venus Marina, goddess of the sea. That's interesting. All right, perfect, obverse. Reverse, fairly perfect with this little raised dot thing right there. Interesting. Let's see, some discussion of die clashing that creates die state 2 with some faint clash marks. And then on the reverse, we start to see that crack developing through S right there. Die state 3, we're seeing some more clash marks coming in. And on the reverse, that crack through S, of course, continues to develop. And we're starting to see hair clash marks right there and cap clash marks right here. And those are only going to get much more impressive as we continue. Die state 4, we get that cut over L that we have discussed. S continues to develop, more clash marks coming in. Really, as we keep going, it's going to be more crack development and more clash marks. So again, more on the crack, starting to have that little internal cud form. And we're getting more clash marks. By die state 7, we have 5 cap clash marks. Check those out. Super cool. The 6th clash mark comes up in die state 8. And look how big that crack through S is getting. And this is one of my favorite images of one of my favorite coins. Look at that. 7 clash marks of the cap And look what that big crack through S is doing, developing multiple internal cuds. So cool. I think I just love the Sheldon 32 as it gets into the later die states. So my example here is quite late in the die state. I'll get some close-up photos. The reverse has started to sink a little bit there. Cap clash marks you can sort of make out, but the environmental damage and circulation have definitely weakened the appearance of those. And the obverse on this one's nothing to write home about. But a very cool variety. Again, one that I'm looking to upgrade, although I might hang on to this one. I got this one from Dan Trollin, who I really look up to and admire, and I have several of his coins. But he had reached out to me on a few kind of out of the blue, offering them to me at very fair prices. And I got this one and my Sheldon 45 from him at the same time. And they were both lower grade, but very highly diagnostic examples, which is what I'm into, is the diagnostics. I don't care about early die state examples for the most part. I chase the late die states. All right, let's close this one out looking at a bunch of photos of some really nice Sheldon 32s. Thanks for checking this one out. Hit me up in the comments, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.